I don't expect her to do it, but we have to try.
A judge orders the Rowan County Clerk to issue marriage licenses to all couples, but the legal battle appears far from over.
A disturbing discovery along the Kentucky River in Jessamine County, what investigators say they found that has them asking questions.
And a well-known Central Kentucky store could be closed for months because of a fire.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 11.
Good evening. The case has been debated for weeks, but late this afternoon, a federal judge ordered the Rowan County Clerk to perform her assigned duties and issue marriage licenses to all couples. Kim Davis, that clerk, said her religious beliefs would not allow her to issue the licenses after the U.S. Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage nationwide.
So the ACLU sued on behalf of 4 Rowan County couples. U.S. District Judge David Bunning said Davis is free to believe whatever she wants, but, quote, her religious convictions cannot excuse her from performing the duties that she took an oath to perform as Rowan County Clerk. His injunction forces her to issue marriage licenses while the court case continues. In tonight's top story, Monique Blair talks to some of those couples who sued and Davis's attorney.
I had the excitement and joy, the same kind of happiness that I had on the day that we got the Supreme Court ruling.
April Miller and her longtime partner, Karen Roberts, along with 3 of the other plaintiffs in the case, sat down with me Wednesday night, just hours after the ruling came down. But their excitement didn't last long.
Then we heard it was appealed, and it was like, oh, shoot.
Kim Davis's attorney, Roger Ganem, also told me his opinion of the ruling.
We disagree with the ruling. We have already filed our notice of appeal to take the case up to the 6th Circuit.
3 of the 4 couples who are suing Davis tell me they will be here at her office bright and early Thursday morning trying to get the marriage licenses they've wanted to get now for several weeks.
I don't expect her to do it, but we have to try.
All I can say for sure is that we will seek a stay of the ruling as soon as possible. Beyond that, I cannot say what may or may not happen tomorrow.
Ganem says no one has the constitutional right to require any particular person to issue them a marriage license.
The Supreme Court case said that states must recognize same-sex marriage on the same terms as different-sex marriage, but it didn't say that every government official must issue marriage licenses despite their sincerely held religious beliefs.
But the plaintiffs, 2 same-sex, 2 opposite-sex couples, say they just want the same civil rights as Davis.
She has all her rights, and she can believe what she wants and practice her religion.
She has 100% of her rights, whereas we don't.
In Rowan County, Monique Blair, WKYT.
In his order, Judge Bunning also said by denying marriage licenses for religious reasons, Davis, quote, likely violated the constitutional rights of her constituents. Now to a breaking news alert out of Clay County. Within the last few hours, police say a man wanted for a murder has been arrested. Police say Roscoe Henson is now in jail. He's charged with the murder of Trevor Dykes. Last night, police arrested Thomas Miracle and charged him with solicitation to commit murder. Police have not said where they found Henson tonight.
We are tracking a mystery tonight in Jessamine County. Investigators say they found what appears to be a body part. But at this point, they're not even sure if it's human. Someone found it this afternoon on the banks of the Kentucky River near High Bridge. New at 11 tonight, Garrett Weimer has the latest on the investigation.
Richard Bryant and Kelly Brumfield says they found more than they bargained for when they hiked here along the Kentucky River.
I just followed the smell, and I just where it was. It was just laying on the log.
I just seen something laying there, and it looked like a hand. I don't know if it was like an animal or a real hand, and he was like, "No, that looks like human."
They thought it was a human hand.
From here to right about here, you'll see it would look like, identify like a woman because they had acrylic nails.
It was all just bone, though.
It was just bone, and just like the flesh was like half of this.
The coroner is not so sure.
That's difficult for us right now. I can't really say with any certainty whether that's human or not.
The coroner says the medical examiner will now have to take a look at that body part to figure out if it is indeed from a human body. Coroner Michael Hughes says it was found near several small bones that appear to be from an animal. Whatever it is, he says he thinks it's been rotting there for at least a month.
The tissue is so decomposed, it's almost leather. Like, and human flesh does the same thing when it decomposes. There's very, very little connective tissue to hold the articulating joints, the hands, the fingers, or claws, whatever they are.
For the folks who found it, if it does turn out to be a human hand,
I ain't gonna go hike down here no more. That'd be a no.
In Jessamine County, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
The coroner says he does not believe this discovery is linked to the search on the river in Fayette County on Monday.
We have new information about a crash that killed a driver and injured 2 other people in Garrard County. Tonight, the Garrard County coroner identified the victim as 65-year-old Sharon Collins of Nicholasville. Police say she was driving an SUV that hit a tractor trailer on US 27 north of Lancaster this afternoon. Investigators say Collins died at the scene. 2 other people in the SUV were airlifted to UK hospital. Police think the SUV ran a red light before that crash.
Tonight, an intersection in downtown Frankfort is closed because of a sinkhole. Emergency managers say it opened up this afternoon at Shelby Street and 4th Street, not far from Frankfort High School. They say the hole is 2 feet by 2 feet at the surface, but it's actually much larger underneath the pavement. Emergency managers say water and sewer lines run through that sinkhole area, so that's making repairs more difficult.
We're looking into the sewer line that's underneath there, you know, until we actually get into it. There are no exacts in this right now.
So the intersection is expected to be closed through at least tomorrow afternoon. Buses heading to Frankfort High School tomorrow will drop off students by using Steel Street behind the school.
It certainly felt good to be outside today with sunshine and cooler than normal temperatures. And as Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey tells us, tomorrow should be the same. Tonight is a great night, Chris.
Yeah, it really is. You know what? If you're going to rubber stamp a forecast, it's this kind of forecast that you just like to keep replaying over and over, not the ones where we had storm after storm every day. High pressure to our northeast on Defender, responsible, or our northwest, I should say, responsible for all the nice weather with that big area of low pressure to our northeast. So that high is going to continue to slide its way onto the south. So that northerly wind flow giving us a dry sky here across all of central and eastern Kentucky. Any cloud cover that we had a little earlier obviously is going by the wayside. That's good news again tonight. Perseid meteor shower tonight into tomorrow night, really hitting its peak. And you're going to go out there tonight, you're going to look basically in any direction, and you should see a nice little show again coming from the skies. But you know what? You may need a sweatshirt or maybe a blanket if you're going to be out there for an extended period of time tonight. Look at those temperatures. A lot of low and mid 60s already showing up across central and eastern Kentucky. We'll come back in just a minute and focus on the forecast that does include the little September preview that looks to continue. But I've got a speed bump or two we'll track in the hour-by-hour forecast just ahead.
All right, Chris, thank you. Today, former President Jimmy Carter announced he is battling cancer.
In a statement, he said doctors found the disease while removing a small mass in his liver earlier this month. Former President Carter said he will rearrange his schedule so he can undergo treatment at an Atlanta hospital. He said he'll release another public statement next week once doctors know more details. Carter was the 39th president from 1977 to 1981. And since then, he's been focused on humanitarian efforts around the world. Tonight, President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama wished the former president a fast and full recovery.
New tonight, it looks like a statue of Confederate President Jefferson Davis in the state capitol will be an issue during the next legislative session. According to our news partners at the Herald Leader, House Speaker Greg Stumbo says he will file legislation during the 2016 General Assembly calling for the statue to be removed from the state capitol rotunda. Stumbo says it's, quote, inappropriate for the statue to be there. He wants it in the Kentucky History Center instead. Davis was born in Kentucky. Last week, the State Historic Properties Advisory Commission voted to keep the statue in the Capitol, but add educational context to it. And this comes as the city of Lexington discusses what should happen to some statues of Confederate officers here. Mayor Jim Gray asked the Urban County Arts Review Board to look at the placement and presentation of the John Hunt Morgan and John C. Breckinridge statues outside the old courthouse, along with a historic marker about slavery in Cheapside Park. During a meeting this afternoon, the mayor took questions from board members.
You know, Lexington's a city that's committed to respect and diversity and inclusion. So it's the right thing to do for us to examine these symbols and see the extent to which they really represent our shared values.
A public meeting about the statues will be held on August 24th in council chambers. The mayor says he expects a report from the board by the end of September.
New tonight, the owner of a well-known Jessamine County business says he's facing a lot of repairs because of a fire. The fire started early Sunday morning at the boot store on US 27 in Nicholasville. The owner says firefighters think a neon sign on the outside of the building had a short and started the fire. Parts of the building and much of the merchandise were damaged, but the owner says the community has been very supportive.
I've had lots of calls, texts, people showing up, wanting to know if they could help. And, a lot of people told me I've been in their prayers, and that's much appreciated.
The store owner says the boot store will probably be closed for the next few months while the building is repaired and the merchandise is restocked.
New tonight, surveillance video shows massive explosions in China that police say killed more than a dozen people.
The port city of Tianjin, just outside Beijing, say the explosions happened at a warehouse for hazardous materials. They say the blast shattered windows and knocked off doors of buildings in the area. Police say at least 17 people were killed, as many as 400 were injured. Investigators are not sure what caused the explosions.
He was missing for 11 days, but tonight a camper who disappeared in Wolfe County is back with his family. Family members say Josh Adkins walked away from a campground in the Red River Gorge August 1st. Multiple searches since then didn't turn up anything, but this morning a man driving down Old Highway 15 in Wolfe County says he spotted Adkins walking along the road.
I said, "You wouldn't happen to be Josh Adkins, would you?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "That's me." I said, "Well," I said, "You've got a lot of people looking for you."
Emergency crews checked Adkins out and said he was fine other than a high heart rate. They say Adkins told them he went most of the 11 days without food, but he had some corn and apples yesterday. There's no word on where he had been while he was missing.
A funeral will be held tomorrow for a Kentucky Navy veteran who died without any family to claim him. Don Koss lived in Mercer County. Ramsey Young Funeral Home in Lancaster says that he died at the VA hospital back on July 29th. Now, the funeral home has organized a funeral for Koss to make sure that he has a proper burial, and others in the community have stepped up to honor him.
We're proud to go do it. It doesn't matter, if there's family there or not, because if not, it's just, to me, it's not very reverent for a guy to get buried and no one there to observe it.
The funeral will be beginning tomorrow morning at 11 at Camp Nelson Cemetery in Jessamine County.
Oil prices hit their lowest level in 6 years yesterday, but you'll likely be paying more at the gas pump in the coming days. Experts blame the unexpected partial shutdown of a large Indiana oil refinery. Officials at the refinery said it's because of unscheduled repair work. Gas prices in many Midwestern states have already increased as much as 50 cents in the last few days. At many gas stations around Lexington, a gallon of unleaded has risen to around $2.39 tonight.
A special mass tonight marking a milestone in a Lexington church's history. The parish of St. Peter Claver took leave of its 67-year-old building on Jefferson Street. It will soon be demolished. The parish is moving to a new Parish Life Center next door. Church leaders say the new building will give the growing parish much more room. Father Norman Fisher there doing the last mass.
Yeah, very exciting for that congregation for sure.